Hi, I'm Kelly, and today I'll be presenting to you my digital game pitch on a narrative-driven horror game called Fogtown. The background context is that you're an exorcist apprentice. There have been ongoing reports of paranormal sightings at a town, and you have arrived to solve the mystery. You can go into the character's house and try communicating with the ghost. There is a time limit for each chapter, meaning that you'll need to solve each case before sunrise, which is when the ghosts are driven into madness upon hearing a piano melody. The gameplay will be primarily exploring and finding key objects that seemingly have led to the supernatural events. For example, a possessed music box, doll, or painting, etc. As you find your way into each story, you'll get an understanding into who the owner of the house is and their relationship with the haunted ghost. One interesting function that makes the game special is that you can communicate with the ghosts. There will be a text box where you can type in words. Only specific words can trigger a response. For example, when you discover the name of the ghost, you can call them, and they will react through flickering lights or making soft sounds. Eventually, you realize that the ghosts are here to do unfinished business, and you can either help them, or you can just perform exorcism by finding the possessed object and destroying it. Instead of survival or action horror, the game is more focused on the psychological horror and mystery aspects. There won't be a physical portrayal of the ghost, but rather only the fear that comes alongside the tensioning atmosphere and sound. As such, the visuals and sound will be the main emphasis when playing the game. In addition, given that it is a narrative-driven game, the element of an unreliable narrator will be implemented, which means you can't rely on the information that is given to you, but have to depend on your own analysis and experience as you progress through the game. Artistically, the town is covered in fog, and you can only proceed to the next chapter of the narrative after solving the one before. The game will be 3D first person with dark muted tones. There will be a lot of juxtaposition between light and dark, so a lot of shadowy scenes to build up the spookiness and cinematic feel. There will be interactive objects in every room that provides hint into the story, such as diaries, paintings, and objects that help you discover the identity of these ghosts. Moving on to the narrative aspects, here are some example cases which I plan to include. In the first scenario, you enter the house of a woman and discover that the ghost is an unborn child. And having the nature of a child, it will follow you as you wander around the house, which would be scary since you can't see it. As you search around the house and interact with the different objects, you find out the truth of the deceased baby and help her communicate with her mother. Ultimately, she leads you to the kids' room where you find the key object, a doll, and you destroy it to free the spirit of the child, watching her fade away. In the second scenario, you enter the house of a man and discover that the haunting ghost is a person which he himself has murdered. There are clues such as photos, diaries, and news reports, and the ghost seeks to take revenge on the man. Ultimately, you will be faced by the decision of whether you should perform exorcism on this ghost or to let it take its revenge. The chapter will include some decision-making points which can influence the story as it goes, hence it reflects on your personal judgment and sense of morality. For the ending, as you unlock all the chapters, you find yourself at the end of the road and the fog dissipates. The person behind all the unusual ghost appearance is an old pianist who has been playing a tune to summon the spirit of his wife. You need to decide how the ending goes, which will be influenced by your previous actions. On the surface, it may seem like a generic horror game, but it involves a narrative that brings you to understanding the strong emotions from those who are dead and alive. From love to hatred, it discusses human morality and moreover addresses the fact that not all ghosts are vicious and brutal. Behind the horror visuals, it is more a game focusing on choices and implications derived from the different chapters of the game. For production, the game will have writers, 3D visual designers, and programmers. The writing aspects will be a focus because of the importance of storytelling. As a narrative-driven game, its initial start will be slow-tempoed as players explore the room and find clues to initiate conversations with the ghost. As they start to realize the existence of the ghost and gain confirmation of key hints, the pacing will start to build, at times involving quick reaction gameplays to stretch the player as they immerse themselves into the plot. Visual and sound will provide refining details to the game and to visualize the good story of the game. Thank you for listening.